Hi guys, today we're going to look at why mimicking the success of others can be very, very good for you and your business. My name is Carl from Buzz Website Design, and it's our job to help you to reach more customers both online and offline. Now, the reason for this talk is that last week, wifey and I went to a gig in Nottingham, and it was the Australian Pink Floyd, and as you can tell, I bought the t-shirt. But there was a number of things that really stood out for me, and I'm going to cover a few key points that I think you, and of course us, can use in our respective businesses. Now, the first thing that really stood out for me is that the Australian Pink Floyd put on a darn good show. They are incredibly good at playing Pink Floyd's music, and to some extent, if you close your eyes, you would barely know that they weren't the real thing. So if you are going to mimic someone else, you need to be, first and foremost, incredibly good at what it is that you're endeavouring to do. Another thing that stood out for me is that they were tapping into a very large group of existing fans, not necessarily their fans, but they were able to quite successfully leverage the fans of another band that they were imitating. I mean, the Aussie Pink Floyd are effectively a cover band. They're a what do they call it? A tribute band. And they've done incredibly well in being a very good tribute band by tapping into the fans of the real Pink Floyd. Now, there's one thing I do know is that Pink Floyd fans tend to be very loyal. Many of them have been fans of Floyd for a few decades now, and to go to a show like the Aussie Pink Floyd is kind of an emulation of the real thing, because getting to see Pink Floyd these days is hard work. And to be honest, Aussie Pink Floyd are not a bad second best. So how can we leverage some of this in our businesses? Well, first and foremost, the thing that stands out is that Aussie Pink Floyd tap into a successful formula. Pink Floyd are an incredibly successful worldwide phenomenon. They make great music, they put on fantastic shows, their gigs are often sold out a year and more in advance, and you just can't get in to see them for love nor money. Well, I'm sure the money would help, but it would cost you if you're not one of those lucky people to get a ticket. So they've tapped into a very successful formula. Successful music, successful band, loyal fans. So think about it this way. If there's somebody in your industry that you really admire, whose success you can tap into in some way, shape or form with a similar kind of formula. Now, something that did stand out was under no circumstances did the Aussie Pink Floyd try and say they were Pink Floyd. Everything that they do is branded Aussie Pink Floyd. They're not trying to be Pink Floyd, they're carving out their own niche playing Pink Floyd's music, but it's definitely Aussie Pink Floyd. To the point where they even had a massive inflatable kangaroo on the stage during part of their show. Visually, it was absolutely brilliant, but it was definitely stamped all over with Aussie Pink Floyd. Even their t-shirts, you would know that this isn't the real Floyd, it's Aussie Pink Floyd. So the point with that is you need to carve your own niche within that. Make sure that you've got your niche clear and that you're definitely not trying to be someone else. That you could even say you're trying to emulate somebody else, but you're not trying to actually be them. And what they also did in Aussie Pink Floyd is give credit to Pink Floyd themselves for writing such fantastic music and thank their audience for coming out to listen to them playing the great music of Pink Floyd. Now, there's a couple of things you do need to bear in mind. I mean, the Aussie Pink Floyd, I'm sure, will have permission from the lawyers and the legal departments of the Pink Floyd organisation for being able to play and record their version of Pink Floyd's music. And I wouldn't be in the least bit surprised if the Aussie Pink Floyd have to pay the Pink Floyd organisation a share of the revenue that they generate in royalties. So if you are going to mimic somebody else and you are going to aim at being successful at it, make sure you have permission for doing it. Make sure that you pay your dues. But above all, if you are going to mimic somebody else's success, make sure you're doing it under your own brand. And there's nothing wrong with giving credit to where your inspiration came from, but make sure that you're carving your own brand. The Aussie Pink Floyd, like I said, don't try and be Pink Floyd. They brand everything with their own branding, t-shirts, you know, the prism from Dark Side of the Moon goes through an Aussie prism, an Australia prism. So it's definitely branded as Aussie Pink Floyd. If you look in the back of my t-shirt, it says Aussie Pink Floyd. So don't try and be someone else. Carve your own brand, even if you are mimicking someone else. But anyway, I really hope that's been useful. If you've got any ideas or your thoughts, please write them in the comments below. It would be great to hear from you. And finally, if you like what we do, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. YouTube will send you an email every time we produce one of these videos, which is roughly once a week. So, appreciate you watching. Thanks a lot, and bye for now.